Hi everyone, my name is Miss Lisa and I'm here at the Fayette County Public Library with another episode of Fun Foods for you today. Well, today we are going to make a layered dessert. The name of this dessert is the Peanut Butter Crunch Lasagna. Now, I've talked about this before. Lasagna just means a layered food. And so today we are going to do several scrumptious layers to create this peanut butter crunch lasagna. So for this dessert, this is what you need. You need a 9 by 13 pan, and yes, you really can't change that. This ingredients are for the 9 by 13. You need a family size container of Nutter Butters. You need some of the powdered sugar. I made a mess, I'm sorry about that, but we have 1 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. You need 1 tub of whipped topping or Cool Whip. You're going to need 1 brick of Philadelphia cream cheese. You need some pudding, and you need 3 cups of milk. I think that's all the ingredients. So let's get started. Since pudding is involved in this, and it's one of our layers, we need to make it first. So I'm going to take my milk here, and I've got measurements on the side of this container. I guess it's over here, and we are going to pour in 3 whole cups of milk. Okay, let me check to make sure I'm at 3 cups. I think I am. Little bit more. All right, so we've got our 3 cups, and we are taking our instant chocolate pudding. Now be careful when you open these. Sometimes they go splattering everywhere. I like to just turn a little corner off and then dump that into our milk. All right, so we're going to pour our chocolate pudding mix into the milk. Maybe a little bigger hole. Just don't want it going everywhere on the table. We want all that delicious chocolate right there in the bowl. Okay, now I'm just using a small whisk to whisk up that pudding. All right, just instant chocolate pudding is all you need. 3 cups of milk. Just blend it well together so there are no chunks in there. All right. Make sure we get it all off the bottom. Okay. We're going to let that set now, so it will sort of set up just a little bit. There's our chocolate pudding. All right, we need to make our next layer. Our next layer is our 1 1/3 cup of the powdered sugar. So we'll put that in there. And 1 whole brick of cream cheese. Now I have let this set out for a while, so it's nice and soft, because you are going to have to blend it in, and that's sort of tough to do. So I'm going to cut this into little chunks as I push it into the powdered sugar. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little spatula and press it up against the side of the bowl and blend it in with that powdered sugar. Get it all covered. All right, this is the part that takes the longest. I suppose if you had a small mixer, that might work, but I like to do things by hand. So we're going to get that blended in there. Got to finish the brick of cream cheese here. Go ahead and cut up a little bit more and put that into the mixing bowl. Now we don't want the big chunk. Oh my goodness, it fell off. All right. So now we're going to continue to stir that in. Try not to have any big chunks of cream cheese. Now, what's going to help here in just a minute is that we're going to add some of the Cool Whip. So adding some of the Cool Whip into this mixture will help spread it and blend it much better. Okay, so we've got a pretty good start. Those 2 ingredients are pretty well blended together. So we're going to come over here to our Cool Whip. Now we only want to have 1/3 of the Cool Whip, because the other 2/3 are going to be a separate layer. So we're going to take some of this, and again, it is at room temperature. So it's very easy to spread and mix in with the other layers. So you always want to keep stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring and stirring. Sometimes it's a little monotonous, but that's what you have to do sometimes to get it all blended together. All right. This is going to be one of our delicious layers in our lasagna. Just keep stirring and stirring and scraping it off the side. It is about done. I believe our ingredients are well mixed together. All right, so once we have those mixed together, we are ready to start layering. All right, so we're going to start right here with our Nutter Butters. So we're going to take our Nutter Butters and we're going to lay them down in our 9x13 pan. You want to try to get as many of them as you can across the bottom. I think at least 5. We might even be able to get 6 across the bottom. This is why you need the big family size. You have to cover that whole bottom. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and add that other layer in there. All right. Now, don't eat the ones that are left in the container because we're going to do something special with those in just a minute. All right, so there is our yummy, crunchy layer of our bottom lasagna, the bottom layer. Okay, we're going to come back over here to our pudding, which has started to set up already. So I need to sort of get it loose enough so we can pour it. Okay, so we're going to then take our pudding. Man, it really did set up already. We want to pour it over our Nutter Butters. Okay, it's not pouring real well today, folks. It's really already started to set up. Well, once it gets in there, I guess I can sort of spread it around with my spatula. Now, folks, with this dessert, it's one that you can't really just make and eat, because this pudding needs to soak down into those Nutter Butters. So that, yes, it's still going to be a little crunchy, but it's almost like a graham crackery, peanut buttery crust when you're done with it. So the directions say to wait at least 12 hours. Put it in the refrigerator and let it set really good. Let that pudding soak into the Nutter Butters, and then you will have a delicious dessert. So this is not really a make and eat. It's make and get it cold and then eat it. All right, so there's our 2 layers. We're ready for layer number 3, which is this layer. Okay, and it's sort of, it's sort of stiff. It's going to be hard to spread. So we're going to make these little dollops, these little pieces of cream cheese here, cream cheese and Cool Whip, and then we're just going to lightly spread it out. So again, it takes a while to get all this on top of your pudding. It's not one of the fastest desserts to make, but you can get all those little tiny spots on top of the chocolate, and then we can carefully spread it. All right, my bowl's almost empty. All right, got a couple more little spots to make. It just doesn't want to come off the spatula today. All right. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, with a gentle touch, you're going to want to spread it. Okay, you don't really want to mix it up, but if it does a little bit, then you're going to have that pudding mixed in with air, and well, that'd be all right too, I guess. So we're going to try to lay this out. Man, just doesn't want to spread real easily today, folks. I hope when you try this at home, it works a little better for you. All right. Well, it looks pretty yummy anyway. To create separate layers like this with different almost liquids, it's hard. Okay. So we've got that cream cheese, confectioner's sugar, and Cool Whip. There's that layer. And now we have to do the same thing with the leftover Cool Whip. put some little dollops of Cool Whip. Now this should spread a little easier, especially if it's at room temperature already. Okay, so we're going to make this as the next layer in our lasagna. Dessert lasagna. Okay, almost got this tub empty, and we can start spreading it around. Be nice if it just stayed nice and white. Give a good presentation for when you serve it to your family. This makes a large dessert. So if you've got some big celebrations coming up, there's some holidays coming up, I'm sure, on the calendar, you can maybe make this. Make it ahead of time so you're not rushing around as your guests are waiting for their dessert. All right, we've almost got it done. Whew. Okay, but we're not totally done yet. Remember, I told you not to eat those Nutter Butters. So, what we're going to do next is take those Nutter Butters. Let me clear off an area. Okay, we're going to take just a simple plastic bag, Ziploc bag, stick them in there, zip it up, get the air out of it. All right, take your handy dandy rolling pin and crunch those Nutter Butters up. Okay, just keep hitting it until you get it to the consistency that you want it to be at. Crunch up that. Looking pretty good. Crunch it up a little more. All right, here's the final touch of your lasagna today. Take your crumbles. All right, and get it to the edge of your bag and just sprinkle it on the top. And that gives you a wonderful, crunchy topping filled with peanut butter and peanut butter cookie. All right. Now the instructions and the recipe that I used for this actually said to take a half a cup of peanut butter and melt it in the microwave and drizzle it on the top. Well, I think that's plenty of peanut butter the way it is already, so I don't even do that. But if you would like to do that, you could. So now it's ready to go into the refrigerator. I would suggest putting foil over it so nobody in your family can see it, because they will probably want to eat it. So if you'll come over here with me, I've got one that I made yesterday. And so this one has been in our refrigerator for over 12 hours. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So when you cut into it, it's not super hard or crunchy to get into it because that pudding has soaked down into those Nutter Butters. You just take out a slice, and this is what you have. Okay, those Nutter Butters are got nice and smooth and nice and soggy, and it has given you a very yummy bottom crust. All right, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is a peanut butter crunch lasagna. It's been a fun food. I am Miss Lisa here at the Fayette County Public Library. See me again next Tuesday for another fun food.